All right, let's dive right in. If you're an entrepreneur and you've got this massive vision, but you feel like you're just drowning in the day-to-day grind, well, then you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to unpack a really powerful framework designed to help you break through all that, and it's called the Bourne OPS Method. So, let me just ask you this straight up. Is your vision bigger than your operations? I mean, you poured everything into building something incredible, right? But that big, exciting future you imagined, does it feel like it's getting buried under the sheer weight of just keeping the lights on?
You know what I'm talking about. You're just stuck, constantly putting out fires, dealing with those frustrating growing pains, and trying to plug all these little gaps in your operations. And that amazing momentum you had, it's kind of stalled out. It's the classic entrepreneur's trap. You're so busy working in your business, you have no time to work on it.
And that really leads to two completely different realities, doesn't it? On one side, you have the reactive business, it's just constant chaos. But on the other, you have the strategic business, one that's growing with intention and, clarity. The difference isn't about working harder. It's about having the right architect, the right blueprint for success.
So how do you get from one side to the other? Well, what if you had a strategic partner, someone who could step back, see that big picture for you, and literally help you architect your company's next level? And we're not talking about just any partner. Imagine someone with over 20 years of experience across all sorts of industries. Someone whose skills and strategy were sharpened at the CIA, managing massive, multi-million-dollar programs. Add a master's in project management to that, and you've got this incredible mix of disciplined execution and high-level strategic thinking.
Well, that architect? That's Erica Bourne. She is the strategist we've been talking about, the person who steps in to turn that operational chaos into real, scalable success.
And you're not going to believe this. Her personality type is literally called the architect. I mean, come on. INTJs are natural-born strategic thinkers. They have this relentless drive to make things better, to improve systems. They absolutely live for turning complex, messy visions into a concrete reality. It's like she was built for this work. So when you look at her core strengths, it all just clicks into place. You've got this strategic, analytical leadership combined with a real, principled authenticity. She's a visionary who actually thrives under pressure. For her clients, this means you get a partner who is just relentless, a true go-getter who will not stop until the goals are met. So how does she actually channel all of that expertise and drive into results? It's through her proprietary framework, the Bourne OPS Method. Think of it as her signature system for unlocking truly intentional, scalable growth.
Now, the whole method is built on three incredibly solid pillars: organization, process, and strategy. And listen, the order here is absolutely critical. You can't just jump to strategy if your organization is a mess and your processes are broken. You've got to build from the ground up.
So pillar number one, organization. This is all about laying that solid foundation. It means getting the right people into the right seats on the bus and making sure everybody is crystal clear on who's responsible for what. When you do that, you create this culture of accountability that pretty much stops the chaos in its tracks. Then comes pillar two, process. Okay, once your team structure is solid, you can start looking at how the work actually gets done. This is where you streamline workflows, bring in smart automation to save a ton of time, and make sure you're delivering for your clients consistently and successfully every single time.
And finally, we get to strategy. With your organization and processes humming along, you can finally lift your head out of the weeds and actually focus on the future. This is where you design real growth plans with clear, measurable goals that are all tied back to your main vision. This, right here, is the moment you stop just reacting and start being truly strategic.
Now, all of this sounds great in theory, but what about the real world? What kind of impact does this actually have for entrepreneurs who are in the thick of it? Let's take a look. So here's what one founder said. They felt totally stuck, but said she was, quote, instrumental in helping me scale and elevate my business. And the key? She provided clarity by giving me a practical checklist and tangible goals. That's the magic right there, turning that feeling of being overwhelmed into simple, actionable steps.
And it's not just for businesses that are on fire. As another CEO pointed out, she's a true problem solver who can take even a business that's already doing well to the next level. That just goes to show you there's always room to improve, to get more efficient, to be better.
But here's the thing that really sets this approach apart. It's more than just a method. When you work with Erica, you're not just hiring a consultant. You're actually plugging into an entire ecosystem. A partnership with her means you get connected to a whole community of other driven entrepreneurs. You get access to her growing professional network. You're getting a partner who is genuinely invested in your success, not just for the next quarter, but for the long haul.
And that really speaks to her core mission. For her, it's not just about hitting revenue targets. She is truly passionate about building businesses and communities that make a real impact, that leave behind a lasting legacy.
So let's bring it all home. It's really about making a choice to move beyond just managing the day-to-day chaos and start intentionally architecting your company's future. It's about designing your next level.
The big takeaway here is this fundamental shift in your mindset. The goal shouldn't be to just get better at managing operations. The real goal is to build a rock-solid foundation for success that is sustainable, scalable, and totally intentional.
And that's the question I want to leave you with. As you think about your own business, your own incredible vision, ask yourself, are you ready to stop just running your business and finally start designing its future?